Welcome back. I'm Jen Holloway. The Better Business Bureau, it's been a very strong force when it comes to assisting donors in making sound giving decisions. Brian Oglesby is a director of the Business Regulations Department for the Better Business Bureau, and he's here with us now to talk about it. Brian, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
How long has the Better Business Bureau been a part of helping regulate charities?
Well, the Better Business Bureau has been around for 100 years.
Wow.
Since 1912, the Better Business Bureau helps consumers find and recommend businesses and charities that they can trust. And we're here to provide information, help consumers navigate through that so they can make sure they're making a wise decision, whether they're donating money or choosing a business they want to hire.
So how do you find out who's worthy and who's not so worthy?
So the easy way is going to bbb.org. You can simply go there with a simple search. You can type in that charity's name, see if we have information on them, and then we're holding these charities accountable to 20 standards. So it's going to let you know what standards they have met, what standards they haven't met, and if the charity even responded to a request for that information.
And what are some of those standards?
So the 20 standards range from many different topics, and we are looking at how much money is actually going to the cause, the governance of the charity, different things like the amount of times their board of directors meet. Do they have an adequate amount of board of directors for the charity? Many different factors that we feel makes it a legitimate charity that you can donate your money to.
And how do you hold them accountable? Is there, do you fine them or anything, or you just expose the nature of their financial spending?
So we report the information. So when that information is reported, we have a vast database of information that people know about. The BBB is a high recognized name. Consumers come to review that information, and they're going to be able to make an informed decision on where they're going to donate their money to.
Okay. So let's say you have a standard charity. Can they apply to be a part of this regulation process, or do you go find them?
A charity can actually apply on their own. When we go and seek them out, it's usually when they receive inquiries and we don't have information, we'll send them a packet asking them information and responses to those 20 standards of accountability. The charity can come to us as well and identify and seek out that information as well.
And do you also check the 990 form as well?
We do. We check the 990 form, much information, and screen them against those 20 standards of accountability.
As I've done research for the show and looking into charities, this is a form that keeps coming up over and over and over again, because you can put anything you want on your website. You know, never trust everything you see on the web, but you can't, you shouldn't, and hopefully you don't, report to the IRS false information. So they're really held accountable by that form. Explain what that form means to a charity and how important that is.
So that form is their financial information, and you can actually, as a consumer, request that form yourself, but sometimes when you read it, you're not sure what you're looking at.
Right.
So the Better Business Bureau does request that form, request lots of information from the charity to make sure that we're vetting that information, making sure that it's verified, and holding them accountable to those 20 standards of accountability through the Wise Giving program.
So, well, let's say a charity has, when I walk into a business and I see the BBB seal, kind of gives me a feeling of comfort knowing that you guys are regulating, you're watching, you are there. Can a charity display a seal? Do you have a seal for charities as well? And how can they use that seal?
Yes, we do. If the charity meets those 20 standards of accountability, they can apply for and sign a licensing agreement to identify that they've met those standards through that accredited charity seal.
Okay.
Just like a business having that logo on the truck, those businesses have made a higher commitment to higher standards, committed to the Better Business Bureau, and they're identifying that through that recognized seal.
And how does your seal differ from other watchdog group seals?
So the Better Business Bureau seal has been around for a long time. It's very well known. And we do screen and vet the company against standards, standards that are in place or vetted over time. And these companies make a contractual agreement to these standards, and we make sure we set them apart when they identify that seal.
Now, and recently, the BBB and GuideStar and Navigator, you all got together and wrote an open letter. Tell us about that letter and what were the thoughts behind it, and why should people read that letter?
So the purpose of the letter is to get rid of the myth of overhead spending. Basically, when a consumer donates money, they want most of their money to go to the cause. That's the purpose of donating their money. They want it to go to that. The Better Business Bureau looks beyond that, looks at 20 standards, looks at the whole package of what the charity's doing, how they're operating, how they're being managed, and it also looks at the overhead as well. The Better Business Bureau standard does not allow over 35% of the money that they spend to go towards marketing or overhead expenses. So this letter was meant to bring organizations together and make sure we have a consistent message on what that overhead spending should be.
And that was a historic move. No one's done that before that I'm aware of.
Exactly. It shows that organizations can get together, can come up to an agreement on what's standard, so consumers can make an informed decision. They're not confused by different opinions and different positions when they're doing their research and their homework.
In your personal opinion, or in the opinion of the BBB, how important is it that someone look up the background, the history, and the financials of a charity?
It's very important. Unfortunately, first of all, there's a lot of good charities out there.
Right.
There's many charities that do many good, but unfortunately there are bad charities out there. And before you donate your money, you should check them out. Do your homework. It's so easy nowadays. You can do quick research, you can get that information, and when you donate that money, you want to make sure that that money is going to a good cause and not going into the pockets of someone scamming you and taking that money for themselves.
And again, what's the website where folks can go to your charity checker?
Yes, website is bbb.org. Very simple. You can check out any business or charity, get information. Before you investigate.
Okay, wonderful. Brian, thank you for being here. Thanks. And you said the Better Business Bureau has been around for 100 years?
Over 100 years, since 1912, yes.
That's pretty amazing. Well, thank you for what you do, and we appreciate your efforts in educating all of us about where our money is going and the certain charities who deserve our money and those who don't.
Thank you very much.
So, Brian, thank you so much. All right, stay tuned, because when we come back, have you ever thought about starting a charity or maybe a family foundation in honor of someone? Or do you know exactly what the tax laws are if you do give financially? We will have those answers and much more valuable information next.